Chaito Darpana Marjanam. Lord Chaitanya starts off, the very start of Lord Chaitanya's Shiksha, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu begins his teaching to his students, he said, hey, beti, aram se, bet jao, shuniye. Listen, take notes. Chaito Darpana Marjanam. So marjan, to clean. So Lord, clean, we have to clean the chitta. Oh, excuse me, Guruji, I have a question. Why... You're talking about Chaito. Chaito means chitta. First, hope everyone understands. Chaito, C-E-T-O, means chitta. It's another way of saying chitta. This subtle layer. Guruji, why are you comparing chitta to darpan? You know darpan? Mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? You ever heard this? Who is the fairest of them all? Gaurangi Radharani ki. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi. That she is Gauri. Gauri Sham. Gaura Sham. Beautiful, golden. Darpan. Guruji, why are you saying Darpan? Okay, listen tightly. The Atma, the first covering of the Atma. This is all subtle. It's not like one kambal and another kambal, then a razai on top of the kambal. Do kambal and one razai. Both tanda hai. So, 2 blankets and 1 quilt. The first covering is the chitta. This is a material energy. It is a prakriti. Chitta prakriti. This chitta is and the reason Lord Chaitanya compares it to a mirror, it's not, when you think of a mirror, you think of a piece of glass, and on the back of that glass, it's coated with a surface of silver ion particles or something, silver oxide. There's some process. They take a piece of glass and they put some chemicals, silver something, on the back of it, and it reflects. That's how it works. Otherwise, you take off the backing, it's a piece of glass. You understand? So you may be thinking of the glass or the mirror, but actually, Lord Chaitanya is explaining here that now when we use this analogy, Chaito Darpan, Darpan means mirror. This analogy Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is using is not the mirror itself, but what the mirror creates. It's called, if I'm right, pratibimba. Pratibimba means reflection. So that when Lord Chaitanya said, Chaito Darpana Marjanam, because he wanted to give us something we can hold on to. If he says, Chaito Pratibimba Marjanam, imagine he said, clean the reflection of your consciousness. So what's that? So he's using this analogy that the mirror, oh yeah, because that's what we think, that's how we speak when we preach, because otherwise it's too confusing. So Lord Chaitanya is a perfect Shiksha Guru for everyone, and because he's Krishna, Adi Guru Mahaprabhu. So he's giving us, so we usually say, you see a mirror, or when a mirror gets covered by dust, rudge, you can't see your face, so you have to wipe off the mirror with a piece of cloth. So chanting Hare Krishna cleanses the mirror of the consciousness. And we use this, we preach, right? Our consciousness is like a mirror, but that's good, it works and it's correct. And that's to give us something we can hold on to and visualize. Yes, my mirror is dirty. My mirror is full of dirt, the dirt of Kam, Krodh, Loh, Moha, Matsarya, and I have to wipe it clean. Well, how do you wipe it clean? Mantra lepana, or mantra safkiya, Mahamantra mantra safkiya. Use the mantra, the Mahamantra as the towel or the cloth to cleanse the consciousness. The Mahamantra, Shinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtana Hridayam Taksto Yavadhrani Vidunati Sarit Satam. Krishna is the Mahamantra. When we chant the Mahamantra, Krishna in the heart becomes awake. He says, oh, what's happening? Oh, you're chanting Mahamantra. Oh, that's me. Hey, all right, Hare Krishna. Oh, this guy wants me to clean his heart. I was enjoying my sleep in his heart. Okay. And Krishna takes out his, okay. This verse in Bhagavatam, maybe second canto, first canto maybe, first canto, Shukadeva Goswami is saying that Krishna, he's so happy when a devotee chants his name and hears his glories. Because you can't chant without hearing. You can't hear without chanting. Shravanam Kirtanam. So Shinvatam. I'm so happy when I hear that somebody chants my name or reads my teachings in Gita and Bhagavatam, that I wake up, I'm sleeping in his heart as Paramatma. I wake up and I do him a favor. He's serving me, he's doing Nam Seva. So he's serving me and pleasing me by chanting my holy name. So serving means love. I serve you because I love you. So Krishna is saying, well, I love you too. You're chanting my name, you're glorifying. I want to help you. You're in trouble. You need some big time help. Your consciousness, your mirror is really dirty. There's layers and layers of mud, mitti, and stool covering that mirror in your living room. The place where you're living, which means your living room, is your consciousness. The Atma is living in the consciousness. And the consciousness is sullied. It's sullied, it's polluted, it's dirty with lust, greed, envy, anger, and false conceptions and misconceptions of reality, and misapprehension and illusion, and fear, and lamentation, and hankering. These are all dirt on the consciousness. So it's like mud. So you have to chip it away. It's like you have to chip off that thick covering the mirror and find that image, to find that reflection. So Krishna helps. He says, I personally cleanse the mirror of consciousness. So in this terms of understanding, we have the Atma, then at the first layer, the first part of the subtle body that covers the Atma is the Chitta. The Chitta is actually it's reflection. Because the pure consciousness of the Atma, the energy of the Atma, the energy of identity, eternal identity, with the awareness of God and the awareness of one's Sarup and one's identity, everything in that pure consciousness, it's emanating from the Atma, that reflects, it's a reflection coming, it's like a prabha, it's like a light coming from the Atma, and that reflection, because it's mixed in the material body, it appears that reflected layer of energy or light coming from the Atma is the Chitta. But now it's contaminated by mixing with the material mind, intelligence, and ego. First the ego, which is identifying with the body. So the actual layer of Chitta is a reflection. In other words, the prabha, or the reflection coming, as we read in the Bhagavatam, the soul, the Atma, is more brilliant than 1,000,000 suns. So that brilliance, that tej, is the consciousness, the energy. But that as it approaches the body, the material body, which it's situated in, it creates this reflection, and that's called Chitta. And in that Chitta, in that mirror, that Chitta, are all samskaras, all of our samskaras. Whatever we ever did, any sense activity, anything we did with our senses, anything we touched, anything we saw, we did with our body, that creates a samskara. It's an impression. It's called bijam, karma bijam, action, reaction. Karma, you act in this material world, it creates a bijam. Now bijam makes a fall. So all of our activities and our tendencies to act in a certain way, they are stored in that Chitta, in that reflection, which is connecting the Atma to the material body. That's called a Chitta. It's a layer, it's a reality. As much as mind is a reality, a real aspect of the material energy, Chitta, or consciousness, is a layer. It's a thin, you just imagine it's like a layered cake or something. It's a thin layer which is made of reflection. It reflects the Atma. And then in there, all of this lifetime, and that's called in psychology, they call tapping the subconscious. They do hypnotism, past life regression, and they take things out of your consciousness. And the people say, last life I was this, through psychiatry and all these things. So in the Chitta are all of our tendencies. And then from from these samskaras are called, every action creates a samskara. So there are bhoga samskaras and there's bhakti samskaras. When we engage on the platform of material sense gratification, material enjoyment, bhog, ahara, nidra, maitun, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, all the material activities, working, these are prakrita samskaras. And they create material samskaras, which means that samskara is like the tendency to act, the primordial tendency to act in a certain way. And that's stored in the chitta. And bhakti sanskaras, shravana, hearing about Krishna, Krishna prarthana, Krishna pujanam, archanam, japam, dhyanam, tirtha yatra, tirtha snan, divya nadi snan, jamuna snan, ganga snan, all these type of activities, spiritual activities, yoga abhyas, these are transcendental samskaras. And these are actually purifying. They actually purify that reflection, that chitta. Anyway, the chitta, because in the same purport he says, when the chitta is purified, when that reflection is purified, then that reflection purifies the false ego. Then the false ego purifies the intelligence, and the pure intelligence controls the senses, and the senses act in a pure way. Pure means spiritual way. So that's why Lord Chaitanya says, Chaito Darpana Marjanam. First we have to clean the chitta. And that's done by chanting Hare Krishna. So when it's a little difficult, but the main point you should understand is that chitta is a fourth aspect of the subtle body. And this is what we're purifying. We're purifying the reflection of the Atma, which takes the shape of chitta. And then, because there's a pure consciousness, there's pure chitta and impure chitta. So all the samskaras we have are material, which creates material identity and material activity. When we replace all those samskaras, you can imagine like this chitta it's like a field, and you put a bunch of, let's say, field, you put a bunch of sticks. You have a piece of earth, and you put some sticks in it. Each one of those sticks represents a samskara stuck in the consciousness. And when one performs bhakti or chants Hare Krishna or serves Krishna, bhakti samskaras, then all these material samskaras which create vasana means desire. When the tendency, say we have a tendency for sex life, say that we're ordinary conditioned human being, at a certain age, he manifests intense desires for sex enjoyment. This is a very basic thing. Where do they come from? They come from the chitta. This is a samskara. Because of previous lives, previous existences, we engage in so much mitun. So that creates a samskara which travels with us from body to body. The Atma travels in the chitta and the buddhi and the man and hankara. Then we come in this body, they try to say it, the scientists say it's instinct, or they don't really understand this whole science of samskaras. Now that tendency is there, the tendency to act, but not everybody. Some jivas, some human beings, they don't have any sex desire from birth, because their chitta does not have that samskara. Their chitta, their consciousness, does not have some peg there, some piece of wood that's a desire for that activity. So they never manifest, even if they're in the presence of the sense objects, they never manifest a desire to enjoy that tendency. Samskara means impression in the chitta, and tendency to enjoy, and vasana means to desire. Just like if you have no appetite, I have no appetite, and someone brings chop and bhog in front of you, you say, I have no interest. I have no interest, I don't want to eat, because you have no desire at that moment. So someone who has no samskara for sex enjoyment, 1,000 naked women can come before him, because the object of the senses, it creates a stimulant. Like someone might say, I have no sex desire. He sits in his room all by himself. I'm free from sex desire. Well, he thinks he's free because there's no object to enjoy with. But then a woman comes in his room, and then because he has a samskara in his chitta, the tendency to enjoy, that object, woman, creates it contact. He sees the object, woman. Then that object hits his samskara. boing, and then from the samskara arises vasana, which means the desire to enjoy the tendency that you have. But if someone doesn't have that samskara, even in the presence of those objects of enjoyment, they say, oh, I don't have anything for that. Like somebody brings you pickles, and you, oh, I really like pickles. Like we have this phrase, I really like pickles. Why? Why do you really like pickles? Because it's a samskara. You have a pickle samskara. Because in so many lifetimes as a Punjabi, you ate pickles. So I love pickles. I eat 27 times of pickles a day. And another guy couldn't care less. You could, stick pickles in his nose, he would spit them out. Because he has no samskara for it. So this is how it works. Vasana arises from samskara. No samskaras, no vasana. So all these Chaita Dharmanam, this means the Hare Krishna mantra removes all the samskaras from the chitta. And once the samskaras are removed from the chitta, then the false ego is purified. That's why he said when the chitta is purified, the false ego is purified. Ahankara. Ahankara means who I am. Identity. Who am I? I am body. We will continue to think I am body, man, woman, etc. as long as our chitta is contaminated. Because that's samskaras. And as long as there's samskaras, as soon as you meet the object, then the vasana, desire arises.